Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. We've got some good news for your Friday. In case you've been missing going out to eat, under Washington's new reopening plan, some restaurants can resume indoor dining.
That's if they can meet the state's open air seating concept. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joins us live in downtown Spokane tonight with more on these new guidelines. Amanda.
Well, here at the Saranac Commons, this open garage door is an example of Washington State's open air indoor dining requirements. So what that means is you can once again eat out to some of your favorite restaurants that meet these requirements. Doors are literally opening for indoor dining options. Under the Washington State reopening guidelines, you can once again eat out at some of your favorite restaurants. Spokane is currently in phase 1 of reopening. That means restaurants and bars are closed for indoor dine-in service. But those that can meet the state's open-air dining guidelines can resume indoor seating at 25% capacity.
It feels great. It's awesome to have the opportunity to open up even just for 25% capacity. It's felt like kind of the only bone that the governor's thrown at us in the last, 2 months, and feels like a big step reopening for the second time this year.
State guidelines say open-air seating occurs in a structure with one or more permeable exterior walls, allowing maximum airflow. Meeting this requirement also includes continuously monitoring CO2 levels to ensure adequate airflow. Examples of this include open bay doors, multiple open windows, screened openings, and open tent panels. Single windows and interior entrance or emergency exit doors do not count toward this concept.
It's a small thing, but how everything's been going, it's a big thing right now.
Cascadia Public House in North Spokane opened its garage doors today and is now offering indoor dining.
We're excited to be able to bring some people inside. I know it's a little chilly in there, so make sure you bring your sweatshirt.
Even at 25% capacity, being able to be inside and hang out with your friends is super important.
At Saranac Commons in downtown Spokane, many people have already taken advantage of eating out again. Peace Pie owner Isaac Hauger says the open air concept has also benefited those who lost power this week.
Yesterday, we had quite a few people that came down not only for food, but to use our space and our tables to study because we have Wi-Fi for work. Due to the windstorm we've recently had, we're very happy to be able to provide a space that people can have the option to keep going.
Now, we've put together a growing list of restaurants here in the Spokane area where you can now dine in. Just text the word EAT to the number 448-2000 to get that list as well as a breakdown of the new guidelines. Reporting in downtown Spokane tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. And today, the Washington State Department of Health announced that no regions in the state will be allowed to move out of phase 1. The governor's new plan uses 4 data points to determine when a region can move on to the next phase of reopening. Every Friday, the state will be releasing this data. Our region is made up of the 9 counties in eastern Washington. There is some good news, and that is the data released today shows the 2-week trend of new COVID cases in our area has decreased by 26% and hospitalizations are down by 11%. Our ICU capacity is at 74%, which is well below the 90% capacity the state is requiring regions to meet in order to move on to the next phase. Now, the one metric that is holding our area back from moving on to the next phase is the positivity rate. This week, our region is sitting at 17%. The state is requiring it to be less than 10%.
In the meantime, let's look at the numbers. Spokane Regional Health is reporting 247 new coronavirus cases today, as well as 3 new deaths. There have been more than 31,000 positive cases since this pandemic began. Currently, 121 COVID patients are in the hospital. And in North Idaho, Panhandle Health is reporting 153 new cases, as well as 6 new deaths. Currently, 74 North Idaho residents are hospitalized. And new tonight, the campaign for Republican candidate for governor Lauren Culp has now withdrawn its lawsuit over claims of election fraud. The Washington Secretary of State's office released a statement today saying the lawsuit was also dropped with prejudice, meaning it cannot be tried again. The Culp campaign had filed against Secretary of State Kim Wyman as well as 9 other county auditors. It claimed roughly 10,000 dead people in Washington received ballots and that 7,800 of them voted. Spokane County Auditor Vicki Dalton was among those named in the lawsuit. Today, she told KREM, "We have just repeatedly asked that if anyone does have legitimate, valid evidence of voter fraud or ballot fraud, to please bring it to us and we will investigate." Despite many requests of Mr. Culp's campaign, she says no information was ever provided to us here in Spokane County.
A narrow escape for a family in Coeur d'Alene. A huge pine tree smashed through their living room. Their son caught under the tree but somehow survived the ordeal with only scrapes. The family is grateful but also angry tonight. They say the tree has been a concern of theirs for years, but the city has not let them remove it. Our Casey Decker live in Coeur d'Alene tonight. He spoke to the family and the city tonight. Casey?
Well, Mark, take a look for yourself here, the extent of the damage at this home. I'm standing in, well, the living room right now, and a giant tree you can see basically just wiped out the entire corner of this building. That tree recently removed by a tree service that was here and taking away that trunk. And I also heard from the family just a few moments ago some much needed good news. They have been able to get into a rental with power and heat with help from their insurance company. Of course, that's some news they really needed after a harrowing few days. For the Morse family, the night of the windstorm was a nerve-wracking one, even before anything happened.
There was an odd air in the house.
Worried about the tall tree outside, son Jacob moved out of his bedroom and into the living room.
He came out here on the couch because he couldn't sleep. He's up all night. He's scared. And he said, "Mom, that tree is going to kill somebody someday."
Then, not much later, exactly what they were afraid of happened.
Yeah, we actually heard it start to fall in, and I even said, "Oh, there it goes." And then it was moments later that we heard the crash and felt the house jump.
Mom Janine was flung out of her bed on the other side of the house. She rushed into the living room to the scariest sight imaginable.
All we saw was the roof, the house, and the tree on our son, crushing him. We couldn't see him at all.
Frantically removing debris, they saw Jacob's legs moving, but weren't sure if he was conscious or even alive.
I was convinced at the time that I was unburying my son to find him completely smashed.
But he was alive, and Dad Matt was eventually able to make room enough to pull him out.
And we heard him say, "I can breathe, I can barely breathe." So we knew he was alive, but his pillow was suffocating him.
Yeah.
He made it out with just scrapes. The entire experience was surreal.
I remember just waking up. I couldn't move. I seriously could not breathe. My face was completely smothered in the pillow. So much weight on my chest. And it's one thing to know yourself and know that you're in danger, but to be in danger and not be able to move a muscle or not be able to breathe or anything like that is just, it's so weird.
The family was, of course, beyond grateful for his safety, but they couldn't help but think back to all the times they'd worried about that tree before.
My dad actually used to take levelers and go outside and see how much more it was leaning and leaning every single year.
They'd gotten together with their neighbors years earlier and asked the city for permission to remove the tree, which is in the public right-of-way. They were told the tree was healthy and didn't require more than some pruning.
They were far more concerned with maintaining the life of this tree than the lives of the people around it.
Now, I spoke today with the city administrator and the city arborist. They told me that after the previous arborist judged that pine to be healthy, they didn't see on the record any evidence of a formal appeal to the Urban Forestry Committee. They also said the city generally tries not to remove healthy trees, and it's hard to predict, of course, such a powerful storm combined with such soggy ground. Now, the Morse family, of course, says no one ever informed them that there was any sort of appeals process. They were under the impression that the arborists say was final, and they're feeling tonight like their concerns just weren't taken seriously. Reporting in Coeur d'Alene tonight, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
All right, Casey, thank you very much. The city of Spokane will provide free disposal of tree and tree limbs that came down during the windstorm. Tree limbs and tree debris from the storm can be placed in green yard waste carts for pickup on customers' normal garbage collection starting next week. Debris must be contained in the carts for the special service. Debris outside the carts will not be collected. Branches also must be smaller than 3 inches in diameter and fit within the cart. Free disposal also began at the Waste to Energy facility on Geiger Boulevard today and is running through Saturday, January 30th.
Looks like we have a wet weekend ahead of us here in the inland Northwest. Definitely seeing some snow, though, in the mountains. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is joining us now for everything we need to know. Hi, Thomas.
Hey there. We actually saw a little bit of snow earlier this morning, a bit more that could actually stick to the ground for some areas on the way for the weekend. Not definitely a washout, though. In fact, right now it's actually mostly clear out there. Had a beautiful sunset about a half hour ago, just that last little trickle of daylight as of right now. But the winds are calm, and I think that's important as of right now. More cloud cover as we head into tomorrow morning. It might start with a foggy day on Saturday, but Saturday overall is going to be the drier of the 2 days. In fact, the system that we had this morning, early this afternoon, has already cleared the inland Northwest and is now hitting areas like southern Idaho and parts of Montana. So here's just the weekend at a glance. Saturday should be a dry day, mostly cloudy, bit of fog in the morning hours. As for Sunday, some rain and snow showers, and the snow might have a better time sticking in some of our northern communities, a better time than it did this morning across the area. So I'll be detailing who could see perhaps an inch of snow over the course of this weekend, but it's not just this weekend, it might actually be next weekend as well, as temperatures are set to get a little bit colder this month.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much. Still ahead, today is the last day for the IRS to send out that second round of stimulus checks. Coming up, what you can expect if you still need to get yours. And before we go to the break, check out these photos sent in to us by viewer Evan from Wednesday's windstorm. Looks like a trampoline right there. Share your photos with us. It's easy to do so. Just download the KREM 2 app and submit your photos using the Near Me section of that app.